Hi, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about goals for quarter four. How is it already the last quarter of 2024? This year may have felt really long at times for me because of how many things happened, but at the same time, it flew by faster than I expected it to be, or expected it to. A part of me feels like I was just announcing the first round of the Wordy Writer Challenge back in February. Like, I feel like that was like literally last month. But then another part of me feels like that was so long ago, so I don't really understand. But I cannot believe that we are already encroaching on the last two Wordy Writer Challenge months or events for the year. Don't worry, we're going to be back in 2025. We're not going anywhere. But for the year of 2024, there are only two more Wordy Writer Challenge events, and that will be November and December. I'll talk about those a little bit later on in the video. But the fact of the matter is there are only 3 months left of 2024 before 2025 hits us, and I'm feeling a little stressed about it. In summary, 2024, specifically the first half of the year, hadn't really been kind to me or anyone in my inner circle. And as of recently, it hasn't really been kind to our fellow Southeasterners who just got hit with Hurricane Helene and are dealing with a whole bunch of devastation. To those of you who have been affected to Hurricane Helene barreling through the Southeast, or to those of you who have family and friends who live in that area and things have been devastating for them, I am wishing you all the very best, and I'm praying that things get better for you all soon. That being said, looking forward and hoping for better times for us all, I've been doing a lot of brainstorming for not only my 2024 quarter four goals, but also future content on this channel, and most importantly, what I'm hoping for 2025 and what 2025 will look for me, hopefully. But all of that hinges on how quarter four goes for me. So I've been implementing a writing schedule or a writing plan with a possible publishing plan for the future. One of my major goals in life, is to have a published novel by the time I am 35. That means I roughly have 6 months, until that happens. So in order to do that, I need to get my ass in gear with the writing. Overall, the amount of words I have written this year is pretty awesome. I'm really excited to share all of my stats for the entire year later on at the end when I do like a year-end stats update or how my writing went in 2024 kind of video. Because writing-wise, this really hasn't been the worst writing year for me. It's been one of the better ones. But I still haven't gotten a manuscript done. So even though this is one of my better writing years, it's still falling flat a little bit because I haven't finished that manuscript. So the first goal that I want to strive for in quarter four is to get the first draft of the first book in my contemporary romance world written. Ideally, I'd like to get the first draft done before Thanksgiving, which is November 28th if you're here in the States. But if I can get the first draft written by the end of this quarter, that means I have another 3 months to get betas and alphas to read, do revisions and editing, and get it ready for a publication date of some time before April 9th. Because that's the biggest goal. My second writing goal for this quarter is to write and publish at least 12 episodes of Veiled Secrets. I ended up having to take a small hiatus back in August and this past September due to back to school stuff, sicknesses, and my brother's wedding. We were just really busy. But I'm so far away from being done with that story. I have made some changes in terms of publishing them, though I'll get to that later on in this video. My third writing goal for this quarter is to write the first quarter, or maybe even the first half of the first draft in Project Amethyst. This story has been simmering and sitting in my head for the better part of 8 to 9 years, and I really need to start making more progress on its growth. So I'd like to at least get some of those words done sometime this quarter as well. Now, all of that writing goals sounds like a lot, and it is, kind of. But it's also really, really doable. I know that it's really doable. It equals out to being roughly 100,000 words, give or take, depending on how the final word counts are, which ultimately equals out to only being like 1,100 to 1,300 words a day. And I know for a fact that I can hit that. Which leads me to my next goal. Being more disciplined when it comes to my writing. I am allowing myself to work on multiple projects because honestly, unless I'm in that hyperfixation superpower mode, which is not often, okay? Yes, I do have the ADHD, but hyperfixation doesn't just, like, I can't just turn it on like a switch. It happens so randomly, and a lot of the times it happens at the worst times. But I can't work on just one project. My brain isn't wired that way. It's way too chaotic for me to not work on multiple things at the same time. But I do need to harness that chaotic mess a little bit and be disciplined with the act of writing. If I only wait for when the mood strikes me or when the muse is calling, I'm not going to get anything done or finished. And that's kind of what my biggest problem has been, is that I've been waiting until I'm in the mood for writing. I've been waiting until the muse strikes me. And I just need to take my own advice and remember, the first draft is always shit. I just need to write it. Just write it. Now, all of my other goals for this quarter aren't necessarily writing goals, but most of them are writing adjacent. They include getting my author website and newsletter set up, or at the very least thought about, like have some sort of plan of action for it. I would like to get up to 500 subscribers by the end of the quarter here on YouTube. I think it's doable. We're pretty close. I do have to look into a new streaming service for my live streams because StreamYard is hiking the price more than double, or no, by double. It's ridiculous. It's astronomical. It is not feasible. So I need to look for a new streaming service. I do have some that I've been looking at. I just have to compare them and see what I think is going to work best for me and for the Writers Unfiltered podcast that Katrina and I put together. I also want to catch up on my bullet journals and set up my bullet journals and planners for 2025. And last but not least, get my Patreon back up and revamped. Now, this last goal, I probably could already cross it off because I spent the better part of yesterday doing just that. I made a bunch of graphics, revamped the tiers, and posted all of my past Veiled Secrets episodes onto Patreon. So let's circle back to Veiled Secrets and my goal of writing and publishing 12 more episodes in that story. On the lowest tier of Patreon, which is $3, that's where my Kindle Vella episodes are going to live. They're not exclusive to Amazon, but they do have to be behind a paywall according to the rules and guidelines of posting Kindle Vella, or posting onto Kindle Vella. They have to be behind a paywall. So in order for people who either don't like Amazon or don't like the Kindle Vella platform or are international and can't, because I'm pretty sure Kindle Vella is still only available in the States, they will be available on my Patreon on the lowest tier, and I will be publishing them on Patreon first going forward. So these first 10 episodes I had only on Kindle Vella because I put them in the Vellies contest, and I had to wait until the winners were announced in order to be able to post them anywhere else. So now that the Vellies contest is over, I can post them on Patreon, and that's what I did yesterday. All of the current episodes of Veiled Secrets are available on my Patreon, and going forward, the episodes will be available on Patreon first, and I'm hoping that there will be like an early access of 1 to 2 weeks, since I will only publish one episode once a week on Kindle Vella. So once I start getting those episodes written, I will immediately post them on Patreon well before they are ever on Kindle Vella. As for the other tiers, I have a readers tier where we will do a book club and like a monthly live stream where we talk about that book and gush about it, or not gush about it if we didn't like it. And that's where that tier will also have all of my works in progress available for the readers to read as I'm writing, basically. And then I also have a writers tier where we will have a monthly writing or writing adjacent patron only live stream, and members of that tier will also have exclusive voting privileges on what kind of YouTube videos will be next for this channel. I've also got some other stuff for those tiers, but those are like the biggest things for those tiers. All of the information for the new and improved Patreon will be in the description down below. You'll also notice that I didn't mention anything about NaNoWriMo this year. Usually for the past, I don't know, 12 to 15 years, I've participated every November in NaNoWriMo, and it's not happening this year. I haven't participated in a NaNo event since last November. Katrina and I made the Wordy Writer Challenge as an extension for those of us who wanted more NaNo-like events more often throughout the year. But then with all of the problematic stuff that happened not only last year, but also right before camp started in April, Katrina and I no longer wanted to be associated with them, so we changed up some of our months for the Wordy Writer Challenge, and we now provide month-long writing challenges for 7 months out of the year. Our next one starts this November. So instead of NaNo, we will be doing Wordy Writer Challenge, where officially we will be trying for 40,000 words, but I have made word tracking spreadsheets, which are linked down below. I have made those spreadsheets to where you can change the word count goal to whatever works for you. Because the main reason why we wanted to do these challenges is because we wanted to be more accountable for our writing, and we wanted our writing to be more consistent. Not necessarily trying to get the most words. That doesn't hurt, but I feel like as long as there's some sort of goal in mind for a word count, you can build up that consistency of writing more often. We will also have a mini event in December. It's more of a camp event where you can do however many words. I think I'm going to probably focus on 10 to 20,000 words for the month of December. I personally wanted one in December because every December that I've looked back at on my stats, I have done no writing. And I just wanted to be able to keep up the momentum a little bit and just keep myself a little bit accountable for my writing stuff while all of the end of the year shenanigans happens. I know that there's holidays and people get together with their families, so I probably will take the last 2 weeks off of December, but that still leaves the first 2 to 3 weeks of December. And we will also be back next year starting in February. So all the schedule and all of the links for that is also down below in the description. So let me know in the comments what your goals are for the end of 2024, or even further than that. Are you going to participate in the Wordy Writer Challenge in November or December? And what are you looking forward to seeing from me in the future? As always, if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It does support my channel, and it lets me know that you like this kind of content, and it allows it to be easier found by other viewers. And if you're not a subscriber and you would like to be, please smash that subscribe button down below. I greatly appreciate it. But until next time, happy writing.
I made a no man. I said, tell me your story. He took out a notepad and wrote something for me.